All right, welcome to another episode of The Other Side of the Studio. This is where we have real conversations about real life as it pertains to your health and well being. So, welcome to The Other Side of the Studio. Now, I am so excited about my guest today. My guest today also made the choice to move to the other side of the doors. We'll talk about that. But Sadie Klein has been an NP for going on 10 years, but she has been in the nursing industry for many years. Sadie, welcome. I cannot wait to have this a conversation with you. As I said, we're live, we're organic, and we are real here. But I cannot wait to have this conversation with you. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here with you, Lauren, and have this discussion today.
Yeah. So, as I said, you made the choice to move to the other side of the door, and I'll let you explain that. As a nurse practitioner for many years, you now have launched a new business. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and it's Blue Sky.
Blue Sky Health Solutions. Yes, we're a PLLC, so licensed through the Board of Nursing. And I'm a family nurse practitioner by training and a certified health coach through the National Society of Health Coaches. It's a national organization. And I really sort of fell into it a little bit. I started my healthcare career as an EMT, so I kind of feel like I've gone from one extreme to the other, where, as an EMT, people are having sometimes the worst day of their life, and they're having a health crisis. And then from that career, I moved into inpatient nursing and worked in cardiac step down, which is a similar type of, health crisis, heart attacks and strokes and things of that nature. And then I decided to go back to school and become a nurse practitioner, and I wanted to focus more on primary care and move a little bit more towards preventative care. I worked in urgent care, which was a mix of patients, some having acute problems. But one of the things I really enjoyed in that role was doing smoking cessation counseling. And unfortunately, if you had the state health plan, you were required to come for counseling and listen to my spiel every year. And over the years, I start to see that as a little bit of a missed opportunity, because my background and training hadn't really well prepared me for the coaching aspect of those types of visits.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it was not that the patient felt they didn't understand the health consequences of smoking. It was that they didn't know how to tap into their own internal motivation, or reasons for wanting to be healthier, if you will. Mm-hmm. So I started to look into really the science of how do people feel motivated to make health changes, and how I could help facilitate that through my conversations with them. And I went ahead and found a certification course that used scientific evidence. It's only for healthcare professionals to do. And I started implementing it as I was taking the course, and the results were just amazing. It really turned the tables and put the ball back in the patient's court and put them in control of making positive health changes that they could really stick with, because they had found that really the why of why do I want to be healthier? Why does it matter? I don't want to be healthier because my job told me I have to go quit smoking. That's not the reason. That's not the reason for anybody to make any type of health change. There's always something underlying that is that internal motivation.
Absolutely.
So unfortunately, in a lot of the settings I'd worked in previously, these things take time. So I that's when I started to think about creating my own space and my own vision for how I could help people in that way, how I could create the time to spend with them and really dive in and provide the ongoing support that people need to make profound health changes.
Hmm. Do you feel that you were limited in doing so and really giving your patients the care that you wanted to give them, but you felt restricted given that it was in an environment that was controlled by the medical field?
I do. I feel there are a lot of limitations in that setting. The key one being time. Um, Reimbursement is determined by the time you spend with somebody, and that's just the unfortunate reality of working in that type of setting. I have not spoken to a single provider that wouldn't be thrilled to have more time with a patient.
Mm.
It doesn't matter what setting you're in. You would love to have more time to spend because there is always more that can be done and accomplished if you're given time as an additional tool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and what do you feel? I mean, I think that, those of us listening and those of us that kind of know on the outside of the medical profession, but, what do you feel was the main, the contribution to that? Is it because of the demand? Is it because of, what in your perspective, being on the inside, it causes that, and I think, anyway, I'll let you expand on that.
Yeah. So, I mean, some of it's the way the system is designed.
Mhm.
Um, it's, I guess that it's not based on, I guess I'm having a hard time articulating it. So,
Well, no, I guess maybe it's not based really on really the patient. It's based on the numbers getting through, just making sure.
yes.
Just not, yeah. Um,
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. By, metrics of, I at my old job, I was one of the metrics that I was measured against was how many patients I could see in an hour.
mm,
Uh, so yeah, there was that factor of, you get you get praise from your employer if you comply with these metrics to see a certain number of patients per hour, which I understand that they need a measurement to look at the financial side of running a healthcare business, right? You
mhm.
can't spend 6 hours with somebody, one patient, and call it a day. That doesn't work either. So there has to be a balance there.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I know that as most people that have heard me in the past speak, is that I am, definitely this advocate for this need for change in our healthcare. It just gets me kind of really flared when I start thinking about just how we are, managing our healthcare system, but then how we are treating our patients, and it just is not right for this, yeah. But from your perspective, do you see, or did you see before you decided to make this shift in your work, which I applaud you for making the shift because it is so needed. And those of you with your experience and your expertise and being able to then give your clients and your patients the care that will really support them through their journey of healing and moving into a healthier space. But inside the office of, the doctor's offices, I hear a little hint of change. Like I hear some new language going on,
Mhm.
which is refreshing. Were you hearing that before you decided to make a shift?
A little bit. I
Really?
think that I honestly, I think that the pandemic and COVID and the extra stresses and pressures that were placed on healthcare workers during that time, I think that caused a lot of healthcare workers to rethink. how things were being done. And it really magnified some of the problems within the system, I think, because as staffing levels fell, it became more and more challenging to meet the demands that were in place. But I am seeing, so I'm part of a cohort of nurses who are studying functional medicine. And it's really, so it lights me up because it's hundreds of nurses across the country that are looking to make this shift, looking to use their skills as nurses and nurse practitioners to help patients understand what parts of their health they have control over. That they're not destined by their genetics or their, current state of being to go on a certain health trajectory. If we take a minute and take a detailed look at what's going on, there is a lot that is within the patient's control that can just make them feel so much better, make them have a much better quality of life, and honestly, probably longer quantity of life too. But I think the quality is probably the more important part to most people when they think about how they feel on a day-to-day basis. So I think that between the Institute of Nurse Coaches and the Institute of Functional Medicine collaborating in this way, they're really helping to mobilize nurses and nurse practitioners into this role, give them the tools, the science-backed approach to targeting really the why, of asking the question of why. Why do you feel this way? Why do you have XYZ symptoms? Why do you have these health conditions? And what can we do to minimize your symptoms or slow down the progression of your disease or turn it around and help you get to a better place with your health? That's the thing I feel passionate about. I mean, so passionate about that, I have a pro bono program. I really want people, I don't want finances to be a barrier for people. I just, if someone's willing to spend the time with me, I am happy to see them regardless of, what limitations they have financially. Because as we know, as you move into more of a holistic approach to health, a lot of times it's not covered by insurance companies. It's not something that you can monetize in that way, I guess, is what I'm saying. And I don't like that is a factor of moving into this space, moving through this door. I wish that, or I hope actually for the future where this type of service is valued by insurance companies, that they see these benefits for the patients are benefiting them too, right? They're saving money. They're not having to spend thousands of dollars on, pages of prescription medicine. And I think it is shifting that way. I think it will take some time for that to really take hold and be something of the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I oftentimes will, sit with a potential client if we're going through the process of, discovery, is looking at numbers and looking at almost the savings of moving into, yes, it's out of pocket, but long term,
right?
The benefits far, outweigh, having to stay in a situation that is not ideal. And most often laying it out like that, I have seen, just the change of perspective, because it is, I'm in the same situation where it is, it's an out-of-pocket expense. But you guys, on the other side, if you really sit down and look at the numbers, you're actually coming out ahead. So just kind of putting a little plug into that, just kind of think on that. I realize that, cost can, be, you know, an obvious consideration here when you're choosing to take part of any service or modality that is here from a holistic position. But do sit down with Sadie or anyone that you're speaking with and really look at the numbers before you make that distinction, because it really may open your eyes and go, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I'm with you, Katie, in terms of hoping, the desire for that to shift, in the future of it being, accepted by our insurance companies. But, regardless, I feel like, these holistic services, no doubt, are out to serve. I think the reason we are in this is to be a better provider and to, give all of our clients and patients the care that they deserve, versus it just being about a number and pushing them through with a prescription. It really is helping, and I know you because we've had numerous conversations about your heart, your care, your, passion for wanting to help others. And it's truly that heart-centered place is what is going to give your patients, that's what's going to give them the most optimal care there could be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm with you that, I strongly, well, I know 100%, I believe in my bones and my blood, is that we do have the ability to become our own medicine. We are our own medicine. We just haven't been taught how to be our own medicine. So yes, thank you for letting me, go off and just be a little side note on that. It's just giving a plug is just really, the listener sitting down and listening to your holistic provider. You may be shocked at how the numbers will play differently even outside of insurance.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that are hard to measure when you look at health benefits, right? Like back to the smoking cessation example, you can calculate how much your cigarettes were costing you, right? You can say, I was smoking a pack a day or whatever, however long you were smoking.
Wow.
But because everybody's different and their genes are expressed differently and things like that, it's hard to predict from the moment that you quit smoking, what was the savings on your health cost over your lifetime. If you stop smoking in time that you don't develop lung cancer, or you don't have COPD or these other health conditions that are a result of years and years of smoking.
Mm-hmm.
There are many health conditions like that. Diabetes, for example, if we target and treat pre-diabetes, how much are we saving from health cost perspective versus letting someone live with the risk of pre-diabetes for many years and then they develop diabetes. It's I think I, of course, 100% see the benefit of targeting these things earlier. It really is, I think, shifting our perspectives within our culture. In traditional medical model, it's like I said, you're having a health crisis or you have a disease. But there's such a spectrum of health prior to that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really why for this talk, I was like, well, let's go with how healthy do you want to be, right? Because everybody has their own thoughts and backgrounds and beliefs about what health means to them and what healthy is. And there's no wrong answer, right? So what are you willing to do? What are you willing to change? What is going well with your health? And you want to hold on to those things because you see the benefit of them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. And I love your discovery of why and why. And, I do the seven whys of, we can always find something deeper under the hood that really will bring forward, I think, the true, you know, place where that whatever is exposing itself is coming from. And, more often it's not what we think it is. It really is much deeper and underlying. And that discovery that you're sharing really does make a huge difference in helping others try to locate where it's actually coming from. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the kind of care that I know Sadie gives, because I've had, as I said, so many beautiful opportunities to meet with you and have conversations outside of this space. So that is beautiful. And I love that you titled it, how healthy do you want to be? And I'm with you that we do have that control. Like, it really is in your control. And prevention is definitely the best. But if you are now in the needing to find a cure space, knowing that with that determination, knowing that it will take some time, there's no quick fix, but with the right care and with the right guidance, you can move through any situation, I feel, whether it is, it can help definitely prevent further, the furthering the symptoms of whatever it is that you may have. It may eradicate it. But it really does take that choice of how healthy do you want to be, and answering that question. So I invite all of you listeners to take some time with that question that Sadie has brought forward, is just think about how healthy you want to be and what does that look like. We would love to hear from you. Yeah. Yeah. So, Sadie, on that, how is it best for the viewers to get in touch with you? And I will pop your email, or, your website.
Okay. Yeah. So my website is blueskyhealthsolutions.com. Any email inquiries can be sent to info@blueskyhealthsolutions.com.
Okay, I'm also going to create a banner so that everybody can see it. I know I was saying I'm doing this very spontaneously on the fly here. As I said, we are very raw and organic here. So,
Mhm.
you're getting the real deal.
And if
So,
anyone is interested in just meeting me through Zoom or in person, they can schedule that directly through my website too. So I do sort of a free initial consultation to just chat about what people's goals are and whether or not I would be a good fit to help them with whatever those goals may be.
excellent. I wanted to make sure I got the spelling right. And I'm going to put this up here so you can visit Sadie at blueskyhealthsolutions.com, if I got the spelling correct. And as you were saying, that they can reach out through the website to book a consultation with you to further explore. And I encourage everyone to book that call with Sadie. She is amazing and has taken her practice of years inside the medical doors, and she's moved them outside the doors to give you like the most unbelievable service. So I strongly encourage you to just book that call. If she has it open now and a free consultation, no doubt jump on that. So Sadie, just so wonderful to have you. Is there any lasting, message that you want to leave the listeners with before we part ways?
Uh, I guess I just like to encourage people to have hope, right? So there are a lot of different ways you can navigate through your own health and wellness, and I don't want you to feel discouraged. There is hope. There are people out there that want to help you find answers and find a plan and a solution that will work for you. And I might not be it. Someone else, Lauren, might be it. Some of the other wonderful folks that her and I know and have worked alongside might be it. But I just encourage you to be hopeful and keep looking. If you don't find the answer the first time you look, just keep looking. You'll find it.
Yes, yes, that is so beautiful. Sadie, always wonderful to have a conversation with you. And I know that the listeners have been so grateful for hearing your message, your story, and congratulations to you on your move outside to the other side of the doors.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, until next time, everyone, so grateful to have all of you listeners here, and we'll see you on the other side of the studio.